Welcome. This is Back to the Bins. I'm your host, Mr. B. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming back, and if you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. This is a comic book collecting channel, and I'm a comic collector. These Sunday videos are intended to showcase the books I picked up this past week at my local comic shop. I've got a pull list, so I'm pretty familiar with what's happening in comics today. I love digging through the dollar bins, and I love digging through the back issue bins. So, if that sounds interesting to you, and you'd like to join me on my journey back to the bins, why don't you take a look over here, and I'll show you what I picked up. Alright, and like I said, these are the books I picked up this past week at my local comic shop, 204 Comics in Winnipeg, and as per usual, we start in alphabetical order, and that takes us to DC Comics with Absolute Martian Manhunter, issue number 6. This is the Mitch Gerads variant. Are you reading this comic? This is just exceptional stuff. I love the trip this takes you on. I say it all the time, so there's really nothing more I can say other than if something a little psychedelic, odd, and slightly irritating in a good way interests you, get this, because it's just filled with so much. It's awesome. Love it. And over to Marvel this week. I had to get another Avengers. I told you I stopped collecting this at issue 12, and here we are at issue number 29. Yet again, Luciano Vecchio strikes with this Scarlet Witch variant. I'm collecting these Vecchio variants, and he just keeps making more, but I'm here for it. Look at how beautiful this is. Absolutely stunning. I love the side profile of the Scarlet Witch. This is definitely a contender for cover of the year. I love it. So many of those great Vecchio covers. And over to the independent section of your local comic shop. Here we have Beneath the Trees, Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, issue number 2. This is the Patrick Horvath A cover. He's also the illustrator and the writer of this Twisted Tale. If you know about it, you know about it. If you don't know about it, look into it. If you're interested in sort of strange horror, I don't know, crime thriller stuff, yet through this kind of context, it's for you. Super stuff. Incredible. In keeping with the independent stuff, here's a book that absolutely floored me on that first issue. I highly recommend this. This is a crazy trip as well. This is Benjamin number 3, the Malachi Ward variant. That first issue just took me by surprise. I was so stoked for it. I still haven't read issue 2. Issue 3 is here. I can't wait. This is good stuff. This is the beauty of independent comics. So cool. Back over to Marvel. Here we got The Death of the Silver Surfer, issue number 3, the Claudio Castellini variant. Beautiful stuff. Galactus, the Silver Surfer, the darkness of space. Epic proportions. Cosmic stuff in Marvel. Love it. Have only read issue 1. Issue 2 is coming up. I know that. Looking forward to that. Love these covers nonetheless. Awesome. Here we got a final issue. This is Fantastic Four Fanfare, issue number 4. This is the Mark Bagley variant. Fun stories. I love Bagley's work, always do, although I'm a little surprised at how Sue Storm looks. It's okay. Still love Bagley's work. He's been a busy guy over the last couple of years doing all of this great stuff throughout Marvel. I love that too. And with all of the hype and interest in the Fantastic Four and my love of the team, this was a worthwhile trip. I can't wait to read this last issue. Back over to the independent section of your local comic shop. Here's got, oh boy, I loved issue 1 as well. This is Guyena Naked Aggression, issue number 3. The Carl Kerschel variant. Super, super stuff. Amazing artwork. It is just a fantastic series. The first issue floored me. I'm sure the second one will. These covers have been fantastic too. I think this is a contender for miniseries of the year. I absolutely loved that first issue. Back over to Marvel, something that's ending soon and turning into a different title. This is Phoenix, issue Number 14, the Joelle Jones variant. Look at how pretty this is. Phoenix looks amazing. This is beautiful work. Joelle Jones is always great. Contender for cover of the year. This is turning into binary, I think, after issue 15 here of Phoenix. There's a big thing happening in Marvel again, so this is the end of this run. I have really enjoyed it. Have you read it? Curious to know. And yeah, that's just a great cover. Then over to the dollar bins. No, this was dollar bins. Something I couldn't say no to for sentimental reasons. This is Power Pack issue number 11 from June of 1985. This is the Bob Waychek cover. I had this as a kid. And from June of 1985, I would have just been 8 years old. And I remember getting this, and I'm not sure why I chose this. Maybe I liked the look of the kids. Maybe it was flashy and colorful, but I definitely remember getting it. I saw this in the bins, immediately remembered this, and, well, it came home with me. And back over to the independent section, who seem to always be doing well these days. Here we have crooked Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon Nemesis. This is issue number 2, the Dev Pramanik variant. I haven't read issue 1. Issue 1 I picked up just because I love that cover, but I thought the story and the character on the cover looked pretty interesting. So here we have another beautiful cover. I say contender for cover of the year. This is like what everybody's doing at the black, white, and red at Marvel, but this is just simplicity in its finest form, looking absolutely fantastic and unique. I love it. And I can't wait to actually read it. Ooh, I love this too from your independent section. Here we have Sonya Reborn issue number 1, the Joshua Middleton variant. I have never read a Red Sonya book before. I am curious. This cover floored me. Middleton's work is exceptional here. This is definitely a contender for cover of the year. I think this is just a beautiful image. I can't wait to look into it. The reviews that I've seen on League of Comic Geeks have been kind of down the middle, which is better than nothing. Gives you a little bit of indication. But, you got to make that decision yourself, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it pays off. Because I'm not really into fantasy, but as a cover collector, I couldn't say no to this one anyway. So I'm curious to see what kind of character and story we've got here. Keeping with the independent section, here we got something. Speed Racer issue number 2. Fantastic looking cover. This is the Sean Galloway retro manga variant. I showed you issue 1, I guess a month ago. Had the same premise. That's fantastic. I can't wait to collect this. I believe this is a miniseries, so hopefully every one of this miniseries will have one of these Galloway issues. I'm sure they will. Looking forward to collecting that as a whole. Love that. Beautiful looking stuff. Back over to Marvel. We got the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing. This is, of course, the Thing. Issue number 4. This is the Todd Knock iconic variant. I've been collecting some of these over the last 4 months, give or take. It was nice to see the Thing having one. I read issue 1, so maybe issue 2. I think I've gotten 2 issues into the Thing. I liked it. Not too bad, but I'm glad it's a miniseries. How's that? But it's cool. This is an absolutely fantastic cover. I love Todd Knock's work when he's doing stuff like this, so that's cool. Over to Marvel still, we've got Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 20. This is the Marco Cicchetto A cover. Of course, this is ending as well, I think, after issue 25. The FOC so far only shows issue 24, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be 25. And then who knows what happens. There's a big event happening within the Ultimate Universe as well, but love these Cicchetto covers. This is a nice, colorful A cover. Back over to the independent section. We have Universal Monsters, The Invisible Man, issue number 1. Again, this is the Joshua Middleton variant. I love Universal Monster stuff. Always love The Invisible Man. Underrated. This is an absolutely gorgeous looking cover. This is a contender for cover of the year. I saw some good reviews again on League of Comic Geeks about this title, and they've all been pretty good. I don't think anything so far has topped Dracula. Hopefully this gets there. I think it's got lots of potential. A fantastic, underused character in the horror genre, so super cool. Back over to Marvel just for a cover by, because I love Storm. Here we have X-Men issue number 21, the J. Scott Campbell. Just spectacular collection variant. You know, I'm collecting the J. Scott Campbell covers as well, so that adds to that. And look at this. Absolutely stunning cover. Love that. Super cool. And in keeping with the X-Men and Storm, here we got something out of the dollar bins once again, adding to my X-Men Classic collection, trying to get that whole run, a nice and affordable way to get those early X-Men stories. This is issue number 58 from February of 1991. That's a Mike Mignola cover, and this is a reprint and adaptation of Uncanny X-Men issue number 154. Yeah, looking forward to that. Well, there you have it, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And how about we get back to the real world, shall we? Well, it's a great stack of books. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw. And if you did, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe? It really helps to build the channel, and I'd love to develop a community of people who just really love comics. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you next week. And until then, remember, comics are good.